This is the new one.
That's the new one.
Oh, I'm very loud.
Are you?
Yeah.
Turn down a bit if you want.
Welcome back to the Lionstone Podcast. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Did you mean to turn down your microphone or the sound in your headphones?
Oh, I don't know.
Sorry.
It doesn't really matter. Whatever. I'm just playing with knobs now.
That's it. All right.
For everyone on the YouTube, you can watch me DJ.
Right.
Happy New Year, Patrick.
Happy New Year.
Welcome back to the podcast.
It's already 10 days into the month.
10 days into the new year, and what have you stuck to?
Not much to be honest with you.
Stick to being the same person I was last year.
That's it. Well, I tried to take up running, so we'll go into the running side of things.
Oh, yeah, because last year we were talking about like David Goggins, his new book. We said we were both going to read it. We've both read it now.
Yeah, we both read it.
What'd you think?
I liked it. I liked it more than the first book. I just literally finished like listening to the first book again this morning. Yeah. And I think the messages in what he spoke about in the second book were far better than the first book.
Yeah. I agree. I think the first one was very I want to say trigger happy. Like it was very, oh my God, all of this shit happening all at once. Mm. But that was more of a story. Whereas the second one, he goes into like the actual meaning behind
very particular things.
I think it was good. Particular things. So it was very good. If you haven't read it, jump on and read it. Listen to it.
What's it called? Never Finished?
Never Finished.
I think the audio version for that one is better because he does the podcasts.
Yeah, he does like the micro podcasts in between and like talks about the actual chapter that just was. And that's pretty cool. Especially the Moab chapters.
Yeah. That's fucked.
Yeah, it's insane. I won't spoil any of it because it is very good. It's very exciting to listen to as well.
But yeah, so that made me want to take up running. So I did. I was going to do couch to 5K, which is
did 5K instead.
Did 5K instead. So my second day running, I was like, this is going to take me 3 weeks or whatever it was. It's supposed to take, I think it's 9 weeks to get you from couch to 5K.
Yeah.
And because I'd done some cardio stuff before.
Yeah, you were running on the cross trainer. You were doing cross training.
Yeah. So I was doing that a couple times a week. So I started like midway through. Could you bump my mic volume up a little bit?
Yep.
Thank you. So I started about halfway through that. And then second day into running, I was like, maybe I'll just give it a shot and see what happens. And then it was a slow time. I think it was like...
You were on 10 minute Ks, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. So I think I did the full 5Ks on my second day running. And then I started running again and progressively my ankles got worse. And I reckon, when was that? That would have been Christmas.
That was just before Christmas, I think. Right.
So it's taken 2 weeks for my ankles to get back to a point where I can walk.
Without a limp?
No, I'm still limping. Like, my left ankle is far worse than my right, but I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
I don't know if I gave myself mini stress fractures, but...
Did you have the new shoes by the time you had the ankle injury? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I bought those the first day I started running.
All the gear, all the idea.
Yeah. But I'm going to get back into it. I got to just figure out what actually caused the problem with my ankle.
And then fix it.
If
anyone's a running coach out there, hit up Pat.
Let me know.
Let him know.
Because I did start stretching too.
Yeah.
20 minutes every morning. I haven't done it in a while.
So you haven't started stretching. You did it once.
No.
Built the habit.
I did it 4 days in a row and then I fucked my ankle and I was like, fuck this. I'm not doing that again.
Well... I was saying on a podcast like early December that I felt like I wanted to start running again, right? And the last time I ran I was training for the army and I could barely do a 11-minute 2K. So 2K in 11 minutes, which is, what's that, 550?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's pretty good. But also if you're running that, you can kind of empty the tank and get there if you really need to get there. So I hadn't run since that, and I think I did break the 2K 11-minute. It was fine. I was dead after it in the previous night. So I started running as well. Off the bat, I ran on a 30-degree day in the middle of the day with Emily, and I was just like, I'm just going to keep running. I'm going to keep running. Got 2.5 Ks in. I was like, I think we need to stop. And I looked at Emily, I was just dripping in sweat. She's like, are you okay? I was like, I'm not. So we walked for a bit and then we started running again. And it turned out to be pretty good. We did like a 7-minute pace, which was like, we ended up doing, I think it was like 6 Ks and at a 7.5 minute pace.
That's pretty good.
A couple of 8 minutes in there because we walked for a bit, but that started it. And now for me, I haven't been plagued with injury. No. So I've kept it up and now... I did a similar thing to you with I set my goal for the year. I was like, I want to do 10K, which in where I live, in Williamstown, there's a circuit around my house. I'm not going to say where, you creepy fucks.
Oh, yeah, I know the one. Yeah.
Don't tell anyone.
No.
That I wanted to run because I knew it would be roughly about 10Ks. And I said to Emily, I'm going to kind of do this. And then Christmas happened, whatever. And I'd done some little runs. So I'd done done a couple of 3Ks. And my biggest thing was I just wanted to run without stopping. I didn't care about the pace. So I slowed it right down. And I was like, as long as I keep steady and if I keep this pace, I can actually continuously run for distance. I was hitting 4K without stopping, 5K without stopping. And I was like, well, if I'm pretty gassed when I get home. So I get home at 5K, hit my door, and I'm like, oh, I lay on the deck, and Emily squirts me with the fucking hose. So I said, I revisited my goals for the year, and I said, I want to do that loop that we were talking about because I feel like that would be a really good goal.
How far's the loop?
It worked out to be 8.5K.
Right. Okay.
But I could make it 10K if we wanted to. So the next day, I start running, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to go out for a 5K. I'm going to do it nonstop, whatever. I'm running down past the fish and chip shop in Williamstown, and it's a shit weather day. It was fucking rain was hitting me in the face, and the wind was blowing nuts, right? Yeah. Anyway, I get to where the massive the football ground is, where the massive water tank is, and I get a phone call. And it's my dad. And I was like, hey, Dad. I'm running, trying to cover the mic so he can hear me. And he's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I'm running. He's like, oh, shit. Because I've always detested running. And I was just like, oh, just like you, Dad, bad runner. Ha, ha, ha. But he used to run because he used to say he was a shit runner, but he would do it anyway. And I was like, oh, there's something in that. Anyway, so I'm running. I'm talking to him. He's like, oh, what's going on? I was like, oh, yeah, this, that, and the other. We're running. Anyway. I got off the phone and I realized I'd kept running. I didn't turn around where I was meant to. And I was like, oh shit, I've done 4.5K. I'm not even puffing. I had a stead. I looked at my watch and I was like 7:20 pace on the kilometer. And I was like, shit, I'm not even tired. And I was like, okay, all right, don't panic. Keep running. And I was like, I think I can do the loop now. Yeah. Anyway, so I keep running, run through Williamstown, dodge the fucking people everywhere because it's middle of summer, even though it's raining, people are everywhere. And I hit the main street of Williamstown and I come out where there's a Vietnamese place on the corner and the Domino's. Iconic. No, wave at my old life. Bye. So I'm running up the main street and then I was going to head back into my place and that's when things started to hurt. And I was like, okay, my biggest thing is I don't want shin splints because that'll stop me from running. And I was like, I want to be able to come back tomorrow. And I started saying this thing to myself. I'm like, you want to come back tomorrow. You want to make sure you don't get injured. You want to do this. You want to do that. And I was like, oh no. That's my fucking inner bitch coming out to me. My Goggins inner bitch be like, what are you doing? You're talking to yourself. You're not letting yourself do it. The mind controls the body. The body controls the mind. And I was like, fuck. All right. I've met this this pain. And I was listening to Cameron Haynes, the bow hunter, his book. And he during that run, he was actually talking about running. So he mentioned if you're ever running and you're in the hurt locker, just smile and see what happens. Anyway, so I was running and I heard him say that. And it made me laugh, and nothing fucking changed. I still fucking hurt. No, but that's seriously. And then I laughed at that, and then the pain mental pain dissipated a little bit. The voice got a little bit quieter, and I was like, I can take this home. So I was like, fuck it. It's not about the 10K now. It's about the loop. Yeah. And I took the route home, and I got to. I got home and I touched my front door because that's my finish line. Yeah. And I honestly compare that to the first time I ever did MDMA. Because it was one of the happiest moments of my life. Yeah. Of having told myself this lie for so long that I can't run. I'm not a runner. I'm too heavy to run. Bodybuilders don't run. I'm not even a bodybuilder anymore. I don't run. This, that, and the other. And I was like, fuck it. I'm going to become a runner. Yeah. And as soon as I like had started running, I called myself a runner and someone who can run it ended up being 8.5K. And I did it at a 7-minute pace.
Yeah, that's good.
Which is faster than what I can do a 5K at. So I don't fucking know how that happened. One thing I failed to mention.
Yeah.
That middle part where I was talking to my dad, I'd like come around the crest of the like head of Williamstown. So I picked up a tailwind.
Oh, so you had
and I was being pushed.
like a
And I was like, name of the game, motherfucker. Name of the game.
that's pretty good then. So you did it. You already checked it off.
Well, I haven't checked off the 10K.
You did the loop though.
I've done the loop.
Good.
But you know what that did? I got home. I was like, what's next?
Yeah, right.
I was like, okay, 20K is the goal now.
Well, you'd be able to easily get 10 if you can get 8.
Well,
At 7:20, you can get.
Tell that to the runs afterwards because I took a day off the next day.
Yeah.
Day after that, I went out to go for a run. It was a warm morning, like it was 27 in the morning already. It was like 7 o'clock. And it was humid and I was running and I was like, who the fuck is this person versus the person who was running the other day? I got 3Ks in and I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm fucking done. But from then I did a 5K yesterday, or 5.2, whatever. The technicalities matter. And I'm just going from there. But yeah, I reckon I'll sit from that anywhere from like 3 to 7Ks for a bit, train up my heart rate and trying to improve that. And then in a couple of weeks' time, I'll try and go further and see
sick.
what the goal is. But it's so funny, like having been someone who's trained and like in the gym and pushed myself into painful positions. Training in a gym is like micro pain. Like it's never too long until the set's done, unless you're doing like a fucking Widowmaker set or whatever. Don't recommend. It's never that far away that you can get reprieve. When you're out running, there's no car to pick you up.
Yeah.
And that's very humbling.
Yeah. You can stop and walk, but the goal is to run.
You can stop and walk, but if you like, do you know how much longer it takes you to get home? And everyone's gonna know. Everyone's gonna know this fatty me has been running and then stopped. Anyway, so that's been the last couple of weeks for me training wise, and like I've reintroduced jiu-jitsu again. I've got that today. Fuck, I'm sore. I'm also burning calories like a motherfucker.
Are you getting leaner?
Yeah, I got back. So before I went to Queensland, I was like 102 kilos or something. And I went to Queensland, had Christmas, ended up being like 105 when I got back.
Yep.
And I was like, whoopsie. Couple of extra kegs, and I'm back down to 101.6.
Yeah, good.
I think by the end of next week, if I continue the way I'm going and I don't, if I stick within my diet, I'll be under 100.
Yeah, good.
And it was, fuck. I was thinking about it because I had the question forced to me. Where do I want to take my physique in the next couple of months, right? And it's not the photo shoot that we have booked.
That's next week. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
Here we go again.
Yeah, that's next week.
You know that.
Yeah, that's going to be a jacket or jumper photo shoot.
A jumper photo shoot. Hopefully it's on a cold day. Anyway, but no, I was buying a rash guard for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Because I got money for Christmas, so I got to buy something I wanted. And my instructor, he goes, "What size?" And I was like, "Oh, probably like I wear an XL in t-shirts." He's looking at me, and I was like, "Oh no, he's judging me." And he's like, "Oh, probably an XL." He comes back and I put it on. He just looks at me. He's like, "You planning on losing some weight?" And I was like, Christmas got the better of me.
Oh, that's good. That's funny.
And I'm not fat, but I've got a bit of extra chib.
Yeah.
And I was like, I probably want to drop another 10 because I felt my best when I'm sitting around 90. But this is the thing, right? I've got a pretty healthy relationship with food right now, and I'm like, yep, I can dial it back. But the thing is, I kind of got to trick myself. I just not really pay attention to the food. Focus on other things. If I'm busy, I'm good.
Yeah, that's a good way of thinking about it.
If I'm bored, that Uber Eats app just slowly makes its way onto the main homepage.
Yeah, I deleted mine the other day.
Did you?
Re-downloaded it, and then I deleted it again because I felt guilty about it.
I feel like my relationship with the Domino's app was like a really bad talking phase with someone.
Really bad talking phase?
Like when you start seeing someone, it's like you speak and you speak until you don't stop speaking, and then you stop speaking for like 3 weeks, and then you like download the app again when you're feeling lonely.
Yeah. Whoa. But yeah, that segues into our next topic with being goal setting.
Ha!
And especially with people coming into the new year, I hate New Year's resolutions. I think they're rubbish because no one ever sticks to them. Yes. I wrote some goals down in my phone.
Do you want to share them with the class?
Sure. I'll share some of them. There's something here that I definitely can't share, but I'll share some of them.
Goal: get out of bed in the morning. Tick.
Yeah. So I have a couple of different categories for them. I have personal, work, and then relationship. So some of the personal ones are save X amount of money. A big one is create content I'm passionate about. Something. So
that's a tough one.
Yeah. Well, we've got more. Like not that we didn't have creative freedom before, but Reese has kind of given me more control of just go do stuff. Like we got that Hot Wings video.
Oh yeah,
Friday. Well, your one's Friday. I messaged you that yesterday. You never replied.
What happens if I'm not available on Friday?
Well, I gave you to the... did you not see my message?
That doesn't fit my calories I was just talking about.
Yeah, you get chicken tenders and you can have chicken wings if you want.
What kind of chicken tendies?
Whatever, we'll go buy them.
Where are you getting them from?
Coles, probably.
How are you cooking them?
Reese bring the air fryer in. So we're going to cook them beforehand, and I've got all the sauces at home. Do you know how much that shit cost?
How much was the sauce?
$250.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, to get it shipped here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we got a budget for this video.
Oh, is it... the Mr. Beast of Altona North. Let's go.
That's it. We gotta. So yeah, create content I'm passionate about. So we've obviously got all the fitness stuff. Reese and I are gonna film. Are you right there?
Of course the fitness stuff is gonna get done.
Yeah. So we got that. Reese and I are filming our training sessions now.
How'd that go?
That was good. Especially with all the new Prime equipment.
You
guys will see that in a video coming out this week. I don't remember the date, the due date reset for me to edit it, but I think it was supposed to be. I think it's tomorrow, so I'm gonna edit that tonight, and that'll be up. This is a weird one, but take more photos.
Yeah, it's not weird because Emily literally said that to me the other day. Like a couple of weeks ago. Why do you want to take more photos?
Just so I have more photos of things.
Yeah,
of like people, events, because I like people. A lot, like people take a shitload of photos. Like I had like 10,000 photos on my phone. I went and just deleted all of them because they're all just crap. It's just like saved memes and screenshots of like transactions and shit like that. But like photos of actual stuff that I'm doing, meaningful photos, more important. Listen to, I've got 5 books here, but I don't think that's enough. Listen to 10 books.
Yep.
So I just checked off the David Goggins one.
Fuck yeah.
Because I finished the Never Finished last year, but if I don't have specific books on here. They can be about anything. I don't really care. But listen to 5 books, push that up to 10. So that's what, like, takes me about a week and a half to listen to a book. I put it on 2 times speed at 1.5. Have you ever put it on 2 times and then put it back to 1? And everyone, it's like the Adam's voice who narrates David Goggins' books sounds way different in regular speed.
Yeah, I like. It depends on what I'm listening to. If I'm listening to like something that is, I'm like listening to a biography or something, 2 times speed is fine.
Yeah.
But if it's something I actually want to absorb, I'm like, I got to slow it down.
Yeah.
And it fucks with me sometimes. I do it with YouTube videos.
Yeah. That's a good idea. And then get back to 75 kilos.
Where are you at now?
88.
That's a lot of kilos.
I got 12 months to do it.
Oh, okay.
This is not like 6 weeks or anything like that. No. Yeah. Then we've got the work stuff is be more polarizing on socials. That's a big one because I feel like...
Say something now that's polarizing.
Being overweight is unhealthy.
That's just factual.
Yeah, it is, but people don't seem to think that. They're like, yeah, I can be overweight and healthy. Like, no, you can't. Being overweight is the definition of being unhealthy. But yeah, being more polarizing on socials is because I am scared to upset people. I usually tame back what I say.
Yeah. But
then I realize when I get on a consult with someone, a lot of what people say is like, oh, the reason I like, because they have their if they choose to come to Lionstone, they've got an option of coaches. The reason I wanted to pick you was because of your no bullshit approach. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. So maybe I'm going to dial it up a notch there. Lead a large media project in terms of, I suppose we're already doing that with a bunch of other stuff, so I could check that off, but lead a consistent large media project like, I'm in charge of most of the media, to be fair, so I suppose that's a large media project in itself.
Do you mean like filming your training sessions every week, or?
Yeah. Or like we have a consistent set of videos that come out like once a month, like Life at Lionstone. Did Reese talk to you about that? No, so we're going to pretty much, like, we're supposed to film some background content of this today, which we might do after this, but we'll do a short bit after that. But each month we're going to release a video of, like, what we've been doing over the previous month. So, like, that's why I filmed all that prime equipment arriving.
Right.
All of, like, a meeting that Reese and I had the other day.
Yep.
Like, I'll probably do...
just like a day in the life, but day in the month.
Yeah. It'll be filmed over the period of a couple of weeks. Just like if we have someone come in, like we got the photo shoot next week, so I'll be filming that.
What date's the photo shoot?
The 20th, I believe. I don't remember exactly. I have to check the race. 5K subs on the Lionstone Podcast channel.
Where are we at?
Just over 2.
On that note, if you're finding this valuable, if you're enjoying it, and if you think someone you know would enjoy it too, please send them the link on whatever you're on, and give us 5 stars if you're on a 5-star capable channel.
Yes, correct. Thank you. And then there's some other ones in here that I won't go into, but
cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're my goals. Why
don't you like New Year's resolutions? Well, people don't stick to them. Why do you think people don't stick to them?
Because I think they're flaky.
People are flaky, or
Both.
Resolutions are flaky?
I think resolutions are flaky because they're not really hard set goals. They're like, oh, I would like to do this, as opposed to I'm going to do this. This is my plan of action for doing these things. Like, I have dot points of the goals in there, but then in my head, I've come up with I should probably write them out, but in my head, I've come up with a plan of action for how I'm going to achieve X, Y, Z of most things. But most people don't have that.
I think New Year's resolution gives people hope, and hope is very contagious.
Yeah.
So and that's not a bad thing. Hope is contagious, and like it helps you grind through it with your friends at work whilst you're in a shit moment, or if you're going through a relationship and you see that there's a future, that gives you hope. But at the same time, we've been like kind of conditioned to think that the new year brings with it hope that you're not going to be the same person that you were the previous year.
2023 is my year.
2023 is my year.
Finish what you were going to say, sorry.
The only thing that really changes across the year is the end of the date.
Yeah, nothing
goes
actually
from
changes.
2 to 3.
Yeah.
And for like on that, like, hope is contagious. Being around hopeful people is great. But also at the same time, hope without action is just essentially a gaslighting lie on yourself.
Yeah.
So if you say that I'm gonna lose weight this year, I'm gonna spend the next 3 months losing 10 kilos, and I'm gonna do it, but you don't do anything different to the same January last year when you set the same goal, statistically you're gonna fail. So you need to look at this with is this pain that I'm feeling great enough for me to make a change?
Yeah.
Is it bad enough that I'm so sick of having to look in the mirror and have bad clothing days? You know when people say, I'm having a bad clothing day? The clothes didn't change.
Yeah, they stay the same.
The clothes didn't change. So like okay, maybe it's not ironed. Get the iron out. Still looks the same. That's the fact that your body's changed.
Yeah.
That's okay. Different bodies or whatever. Look at me I'm bartering to the audience, but I firmly believe that if you don't have that plan, if you don't have an approach, if you don't have like metrics to check off of how you're going to actually do shit, you're going to fail.
Yeah. And
like, that's okay. We all fucking fail at shit, but most of you will quit on the first speed hump. Right. And the only reason I can say that with full confidence is because I've been on that first speed hump.
We've both done it.
I've done it. I did it for years. I did it for like 6 or 7 years.
Yeah.
But every year I'd be like, this is the year I'm doing it. And I'd end up heavier at the end of every year.
Yeah.
Because I just never had the desire like great enough to lose weight. And like what changed in that was having a tangible goal with a deadline, with a time frame. Of like, I was going to join the army and it was going to be by a certain time and I needed to lose 30 kilos or else I wasn't good enough. And that was the first time I looked at my physique, my physique of all 130 kilos of it and been like, this is not good enough for something.
Correct.
And then I thought to myself, well, if it's not good enough for the army, why is it good enough for me? And I just looked at it and I was like, okay, it's not about health and whatever. Mind you, I shouldn't have got so tired walking upstairs.
Yeah.
For someone who spends that long in the gym. I realized that was no longer good enough for me. And that's when shit changed. Is when you decide it's not good enough.
Or when everyone has a breaking point when your pain reaches a certain, or emotional pain reaches a certain tolerance of like, oh, well.
The pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change.
That's it. There you go.
There you go. Fucking clip that shit, Jamie.
25 minutes and 43 seconds. I think as well that the new year, when people go into their new year and their New Year's resolutions, like it's motivation is very, very high because it's like the whole Monday analogy. Oh, I'll just start Monday. Yeah. It's like the whole, I've got a clean slate. It's a new week. It's a new year. It's a new month. All that rubbish. And then they're motivated for like, you see like the whole, like every gym peaks in January and by February, like a third of those people are still there.
I don't know. Gym's pretty quiet here. It's a private gym, motherfuckers.
Yeah, the most, like, I don't quote me on statistics. I don't know if a third is the accurate number.
97% of statistics are made up on the spot anyway.
There you go. That's it. Like, you just made that one. But
that was the joke.
they drop massively. So when motivation runs out, that's where things like discipline and routine kick in. And a lot of people, I don't think, have that. If you've got a plan, it's a different story. Like, you'll have that. Even like the days that you don't want to go, just go in and do it, even if it's a shit session. Like,
man, just get to the car park.
Yeah, because once you get there, you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, I've already had a pre.
Yeah. I'm here now. I may as well just go and do it. But the hardest part is actually getting there.
Get in the door. Like, just get in the door. That's all you need to do. And like, if it's food that's your issue, just cook. Just like find a way to stop yourself from opening Uber Eats.
Just delete it off your phone.
Delete it off your phone. The extra step of putting your Apple ID password in should block you enough.
Well, what you can do is you can get a friend to set up a password on your phone that only they know.
Yeah. So someone who used to work at Apple, please don't do that. No, but that's a good plan. If you have a partner or your mum or your dad or your friend or a trusted neighbor.
I don't know my neighbor. Does anyone know their neighbors anymore?
I know my neighbors.
I don't.
My neighbors have
He salutes at me every morning as I go past. I don't know whether I salute back or wave at him.
My neighbors have like a full gym in their backyard.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They have cemented it into the ground and they're renting.
Oh, that's such a...
They had an inspection and haven't been kicked out, so I'm assuming they're fine.
Right, okay. Maybe they got permission to do it.
No, they didn't. I spoke to
them. Like, well, it's in here now. It's all cemented in. I can't get it out.
We can take it when we leave. We'll put some grass down. Anyway. Oh, fuck, what were we saying? Discipline, motivation kicks in once you get there.
That's it, yeah. Uber Eats passwords.
Uber Eats passwords, yeah. Like, all that kind of stuff, you can put those steps in, but at the end of the day, you need to admit to yourself, if you really want to make this change, if you really want to, and you're doing it for you, you're doing it for all the right reasons, that needs to be the driving force when those moments occur. When the motivation's gone, even when the discipline falters, if you wake up at 9:30 in the morning, you're meant to get up at 6 to go to the gym, you need to remember the goal. And it sounds so fucking corny, but it's true. Do you want to know how I used to do it?
No, go for it, tell me.
When I was feeling down on myself, when I was struggling with motivation, now I'm not saying this is what will work for everyone, this is just what worked for me. I would force myself into very, very uncomfortable positions. I would go to the gym in the morning, right? So I'd get up and go do the stair climber for an hour. Hate that. I'd throw myself in the water because being 130 kilos is very fucking hard to swim. Right? But I had to take my shirt off. And I was around... Look, the demographic at 5 o'clock in the morning at the Eltham Leisure Centre is a lot of just like older guys who swim.
Yeah.
And there's an aerobics class that goes on. Older women there as well. Older people. And there's not many people my age.
Yeah.
Well, at the time my age. So I was like, I'm just going to go. I'm going to swim. I'm going to fucking suck. And then I'm going to sit in the sauna for a bit. Because I thought that would burn fat.
Yeah.
And I would come out on top.
Yeah.
Right? used like exposure therapy to that. And then when I would get home, if I was still struggling, when I would be getting ready for work, I'd look at myself in the mirror and I would grab my fat.
Really?
Yeah, I'd stand there and grab my fat and be like, this isn't good enough. I would remind myself, this isn't good enough. And then when I was at work, if I was like thinking about something or I was doing something or whatever, I'd like have my hand on my stomach because like when I was at Apple, we used to have to like have a shelf where computers were at the top and we'd be testing them.
Yeah.
And like my shirt would come up a little bit, and if you were sitting next to me, you could see a little bit of tummy.
Yeah.
And I knew that wasn't what I wanted.
Right.
So for me, in that instant, if someone had marketed to me, being like, do you want your tummy to stop being exposed when you're testing computers at Apple? I would have been like, take my fucking money. That for me was the constant reminder that I was not where I wanted to be. And this version of myself wasn't in alignment with who I wanted to become.
Yeah, right.
And that's how I did it. And it's through exposure therapy. And you know what? Like, as I said, I'm sitting at about 101 now. I've been down as low as 90. And I've been back up to probably as high as 108.
Yeah.
And now, same thing. I'm just like, all right, put myself in an uncomfortable position. Put my rash guard on in jiu-jitsu, change my shirt in front of everyone else, which is normal. It's not weird. And it put myself in an uncomfortable position where someone said, are you going to lose weight? And I was like, yeah. I am, because I don't feel good at the higher weight. It's okay now. Like right now, it's okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't rip my shirt off in front of everyone right now. But it's not the worst that it's been. So like those little things are important for me because I'm someone who's self-motivated until a point.
Yeah.
And then if it just becomes a little bit better, I'm like, I can coast now.
Yeah, you get complacent.
Complacency is the devil. That's the number one thing.
Yep.
So when it comes to New Year's resolutions, if you actually want to achieve it, make sure it's something that you are so fucking passionate about that you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Or if you're an artist, right, just fucking draw every day. Because if you know that you want to leave your job in a 9 to 5 and you want to be an artist full time, draw every fucking day. Doesn't need to be good. If you want to build bigger fucking biceps, train them with intensity. But why do you want to build those bigger fucking biceps?
Yeah.
Is it because you want to stand on stage and have a better peak than anyone else? Fucking train those biceps. If you want bigger quads like me, because you haven't trained legs in 9 months. That's a lie. I trained them the other day.
Oh, good.
Yeah, that prime equipment is just game changing.
Yeah,
fucking hell. But if you want something like that, it needs to be so powerful to make a change.
Yeah.
And those people who seem to have figured it out and have the compliance and have the discipline, they're no different to you.
Well, they have a greater understanding of their why.
They just have a greater understanding of why.
Yeah.
What's your why, Patrick?
In terms of what?
I don't know. It was a loaded question.
In terms of trying to get back to 75 kilos, it's because I think we discussed this on a podcast the other day. A while ago.
The other year.
I
haven't podcasted since last year. I haven't shit since last year. Call the police.
I call the police. I think the why.
Get the pencil out. Never mind.
It's just because I don't like how I look. It's pretty self. I'm not deep and crazy about it. So I just don't like how I look. I get out of the shower. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, you fat cunt?
Slobby.
Yeah.
And look, and being two fitness coaches.
And by no means am I unhealthily overweight.
No.
I'm 88 kilos.
Yes.
But I don't like how I look.
Yes. Like being two fitness coaches who teach people how to do this, we are not immune from...
We're still people.
Yeah. There are coaches out there who are 100% disciplined, really, like, always look really good. Mason's one of them. He always looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Different struggles, different people, right? So us, we are humans.
Mason is also human.
Sometimes you'd beg the question. But we are humans who experience the same issues as you. And that, let's just plug coaching here for a minute, because that's one of the reasons why a lot of my clients resonate with me is because they'll be telling me, I'm having a really shit day. I feel fluffy. I feel this, that, and the other. and I'll talk to them or I'll share a story about where I was and where I've gone. Not trying to make it all about me with the coaching experience, but just sharing that they're not alone.
Yep.
And being like, this is totally normal. Like, you're not a fucking lunatic. This is exactly what you need to experience right now to get to the other side.
Yeah. Is it like that's the beauty about going through is you can resonate with clients or just resonate with people in general. Is that we all struggle with the same thing. Just because we have online coach in our bio doesn't mean we're this people that gets put on a pedestal that we're immortal from fucking problems. Like, I enjoy eating pizza.
That's a problem.
And I've eaten too much pizza, and now it reflects in how I look.
Well, that's the thing. Your body is just the sum of choices.
Yeah. My choices have been very bad.
It's also been Christmas. Like, that's the thing. But a lot of people are probably sitting here being like, listening and being like, okay, my body is not where I want it to be. Oh, it's a sum of my choices the last 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay, so if it's a sum of choices in my last 6 months, the question is, what does the next 6 months look like? Does that look like, maybe I'll make different choices? Does that mean I will delete the Uber Eats app? Does that mean I will start running?
Yeah.
Does that look like I'm going to lift weights more? Does that look like I'm going to drink more water? Right? That's at the crux of it. Like, if you understand that, a New Year's resolution isn't that bad. Being like, okay, I'm the reason I didn't get to where I wanted to be last year. If I'm self-aware of that.
Yeah, people don't have the self-awareness though. Or they're they're not willing to admit
now
that they're the problem.
Yeah, that's the thing. If it's a New Year's resolution without self-awareness, if your New Year's resolution started with a juice cleanse,
yeah, the pizza's not the problem. The pizza doesn't have any. It's not sentient. It's not self-aware. You're the one that chose to put the fucking pizza in your mouth. Yeah,
you picked up the slice. You are the reason. You are the way that you look. Now there are outliers in situations, all that kind of shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Listen here. If you come to me and say, I can't lose weight because of my thyroid, go to a doctor. Speak to someone. Right? I can't lose weight because I've got XYZ. There has been someone in a worse situation who's lost it.
Yep, okay.
Right? But all they did was say, okay, fuck it. I'm going to sort this shit out anyway. They said, this is my problem. I'm going to fix it. It doesn't matter the cards you've been dealt. Everyone gets different cards. Sometimes you get more difficult cards. What are you going to do about it? Because no one's coming to save you.
Okay, I was a little bit concerned there, but I'll back that. I wasn't sure what was going to come out of your mouth, but I'll back that.
All I'm saying is there are people with health conditions. The number one that you want to look at, for real, like people have really good arguments, are people who are in wheelchairs.
Yeah, there's wheelchair athletes.
There's wheelchair athletes.
That's true. Yeah. Okay, fair.
Like, and then there are people out there who are paralyzed from the neck down who still lose weight because they make choices.
Yeah.
And choices will get you there, right? But if you're going to sit here and play, I can't do it because of this, don't bother commenting.
Yeah.
Don't bother inquiring. Don't, like, I'm taking on, like, I've got probably capacity for 5 more clients now. Had some people finish up their journey last year. Good luck to them. Really proud of you for all you've achieved. But that's the thing. You just, like, you need to prepare. You need to value the preparation. You need to value the smaller tasks, which are prep your meals, which are get a fucking meal delivery service. My Muscle Chef, sponsor the pod. I fucking spend $250 a week on you guys. But I do that because I know that I don't want to use time as an excuse. I currently spend $250 a week on meals.
That's a lot, yeah.
Emily and I, we both get them together. So that I can't use that as an excuse. I can't get to the end of the day and be like, I haven't cooked anything today. I'm just going to order McDonald's. Because I know I'll fucking do that.
Yeah.
I'm no different to anyone else. I will do that. I am guilty of that.
Yep.
The way that I've found that works for me is a meal delivery service.
Just make it as convenient as possible.
Make it as fucking easy as possible to succeed. If I said to you, it is easier for me to stick to my macros than it is to not stick to my macros, you're going to want to just stick to your macros. We picked the easier thing. Right?
Lay your clothes out the night before.
Lay your clothes out the night before. Fill up a pre-workout and put it next to your bed in the morning. It's not going to go off. It's fucking chemicals. But if you do that and you wake up and you hit it and put it in a bottle and you hit it when you go to turn off your alarm, you're reminded that you had a goal last night and you set that goal.
Yeah, gotta go.
Drink the fucking pre-workout. Habit stack your way. James Clear, fucking GOAT. Right?
I was literally about to say Atomic Habits.
Atomic Habits is a fantastic book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it, right? Just for everyday life. Just have things there that are going to set you up for success. Because if you can get one fucking win, you'll be surprised at how easy it is to get the second one.
Yeah.
The hardest weight is lifting the bed sheets.
Oh, that's a big quote. There you go.
There you go. Hardest weight is lifting the bed sheets. I stole it from someone, so fuck you.
All right, well, should we wrap this episode up?
We'll wrap it up with one final thing I want to say.
I want to wrp it up with a joke.
Okay. Oh, God.
Say what you were going to say first, then I'll tell you the joke.
Everyone is going through it. Everyone experiences this shit. Everyone has a tough life, right? The people who stick to their diet, the people who stick to training, and the people who, like we coach, have decided they're going to go through it all, but they want to go through it in a way that they can still achieve their goals. Everything is just a decision and commitment. There is no difference from those people to you listening to this, whatever. Anything is possible if you just decide. Unless you want to staple jelly to a tree.
Oh God. I wasn't expecting that.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is called a state break.
Unless you want to staple jelly to a tree.
What's your joke?
All right, here we go. Here's the joke. All right, so...
I've got one.
What?
What's green and invisible?
I don't know.
This lettuce.
Oh, God, that was shit. That was shit. I thought mine was going to be bad. That was even
All right, you go. What's your joke?
All right, so there are two cowboys. They've just robbed a bank. They're on the run from the police or the sheriff, whatever it is. They're out in the desert. They've been on the run for weeks. They're out of food, out of water, dehydrated, hot as hell. One of the cowboys looks off into the distance. Is that a tree with bacon on it? He was like, I don't know. Probably not. It's not a thing. He's like, I reckon it is. I'm going to go check it out. Gets on his horse and races over there. And then all of a sudden, bang, gunshots everywhere. The cowboy's dying on the floor. His partner rides over and picks him up, and in his last dying breath, he says, that wasn't a bacon tree. It was a ham bush.
That's the funniest thing that's ever come out of your mouth. Where the fuck did you get that?
I don't know. I heard it somewhere. It's
Also,
pretty good,
have you watched Yellowstone?
though. No.
Oh, watch it. Is this the one?
I think so.
All right.
See you guys next week.
Rate, subscribe. Ham bush.